These creeps downtown. Take these creeps downtown. Here, brothers. Guys, take down this scum. That's it. Your ass is grass. You in the eye with reloading. Ah!
Crump greets you with a dry, approving smile.
Well, how's your head? I'm still amazed that the maelstrom can't take you down.
The brute grunts.
Well, nobody really gave the details. I guess my face doesn't inspire much confidence. But as I understand it, you did it. The Junktowners say that a camp has been set up near the ruins of Concord, and all the bigwigs have gathered there.
The orange nods heavily, flexing his fists.
Kicking Maelstrom's ass is fine by me. I'm with you. I hope there'll be people to fight in the place we're going.
Fox seems surprisingly thoughtful, so much so that you can easily tell that even through the mask.
I heard you talking to Maelstrom. We'll go straight to it, right?
She looks at you with sore eyes. Daria snorts and shrinks into herself. She is clearly not very comfortable with this idea.
Great.
She answers after some hesitation.
I'm coming with you. I don't like this big rig.
Make it quick.
Let's go.
You know, boss, they'll do just fine without us.
Not now. Not now.
Without taking his unkind eyes off you, Don drags a thumbnail across his throat.
You know what it means.
Spencer takes the cigar from his mouth and taps the ashes off a couple of centimeters from your face. The Phalanx camp is militarily ascetic, but even it bears some semblance of comfort. A table with a lamp and some documents is standing by the fire, and a golden statue of Christ is sitting in a chair nearby. Zemeckis, sitting on a chair in front of you, looks up from his cup.
You've taken to changing the world according to your ideas. I can understand that. Sit down, please.
Although Hieronymus looks rather welcoming, he is obviously tense. His left hand never emerges from under a soft cushion sitting on the chair beside him. He puts his cup on the table.
You know, I think I'll reveal my cards. I'll give you the most precious thing in the world. Information. Everyone you've done harm to are going to kill you near Concord. I sent my men there, too. They'll get a hefty sum if they bring your head back.
Zemeckis grins.
Without getting sentimental, your death wouldn't yield anything useful to me. I'm not interested in having you killed, nor in paying the bounty. If you decide not to go to Concord and just quietly disappear instead, I promise no one will pursue you. Still, consider my proposal.
Not now.
Those red people smell weird.
Reverend Santiago greets you with a fixed smile. His expression is polite, but indifferent.
Ah, it's you. We all have a big day today, but you especially so.
A hologram of a tall, gray-haired old man in scarlet robes approaches you slowly and solemnly. He stretches out a thin arm, his fingers barely touching your face.
The one who lived through the maelstrom. So, here we meet at last.
He scrutinizes your face with his attentive, restless eyes.
From the moment you crossed the threshold of the temple, I expected something more. I understand your hesitation. You were trying to pick a side. Now you're here, and I'm the one hesitating.
memories.
I remember coming here. I really shouldn't have.
Not now. Not now.
Political games don't suit picnic.
Picnic.
So many
Not now.
liars and scoundrels in one place.
Want some advice? Don't make deals with them.
Sable greets you with a slight nod. Nakamura is already waiting for you, cold and straight-backed as usual, standing with her arms folded. She looks you over.
Your work for the new committee wasn't exactly flawless. I've long pondered if I should enlist your aid again, but haven't come to any definitive conclusion. Convince me. Where are you going? I said we need to discuss something.
Kimiko snaps. Her bodyguard blocks your way, making you stop. Nakamura gestures you to sit down, though she herself remains standing.
I'd like to talk about your action at the closing stage of the operation. What you need to do when you contact the Maelstrom.
The Silver remains silent for a few moments, gathering the appropriate words.
The emulator project was founded to take the Maelstrom under control for the safety of the dome's inhabitants. And I will not let this control slip into the hands of dubious people. I don't care if someone assumes it to be hijacking. For me, the result is crucial, and there can be neither compromises nor half measure in this matter. I don't care whether or not you believe my course to be right. You're not supposed to give me evaluations. You only must do what I say.
Nakamura's yellow bionic eye turns a bit on its axis, aiming at you. Sable brings her a case. Kimiko clicks the turn locks open, lifts the lid, and unfolds the case, showing you its contents. There's a helmet with cables and controllers lying inside. The chairwoman pushes the case toward you.
It's kind of an emulator early version, only much weaker. I need you to link it directly to the Maelstrom. Do you understand the task?
Nakamura turns the helmet to show you the folded transmitter unit antenna.
As soon as you connect it, I'll be able to send signals to the Maelstrom.
Kimiko shakes her head negatively.
No. Each such helmet is adjusted individually to the user's brainwaves. If reset, it should be reconnected to the Maelstrom too.
The Silver looks at the device.
I'm no engineer. I don't know all its nuances. I do know, however, that Henrietta was going to adjust it right to the Maelstrom's frequency. She had a colleague, a friend, who tried to do that. He failed, but you will succeed.
She closes the case and pushes it toward you.
That's it then. Get ready and set about the task.
Nakamura steps aside and freezes, arms folded.
Whatever you think, I do this for the new committee's sake.
She says softly as you move away.
Not now.
And I was starting to get bored. Later.
Those are the folks who conquered Maelstrom.
Let's not stay here for long.
Not now.
Henrietta, wearing a white wing field service dress, greets you with a mock military salute.
I report. Everything's functioning. There are certain problems, but overall, everything works as expected.
She looks at the ruins in the distance.
All of this infrastructure still looks awesome. I hope one day we can build something just as impressive.
The white produces her Kairos.
Now this is the right question. Do you remember me saying there were certain problems? Well, technically everything's perfect. But I still can't connect the emulator to the Maelstrom. The Maelstrom's obviously much more compressed than I thought it was. However, I managed to define its precise coordinates.
Russo clicks some buttons.
The Maelstrom is now where the Concord Station landing ground once was. You remember the station? I hope you won't be knocked out with an attack of nostalgia, because you'll have to come to grips with the Maelstrom. Maybe then I'll be able to establish the connection.
smell.
Not now.
The camp? Well, I'll be. These guys actually managed to agree on something.
The Reisners are waiting for you by a brightly blazing campfire. You notice something about them has subtly changed. With a broad, happy smile, Olivia hugs you with one arm, and Johann seems less preoccupied than before.
Ollie, the coffee was great. Thanks.
He gives his wife a long, loving look before turning to you. The head of Carmine Heights greets you, but without much enthusiasm.
How are you doing? Everything all right? Yeah, we're fine too. We've got the same old problems, but you know about that. What brings you here?
The Blue's face lights up.
Actually, yes. Your impartial perspective on our family helped me a great deal. When your living situation remains unchanged for years, you can end up going from one day to the next without the slightest idea something is wrong.
He looks at Olivia.
Now I feel like it all has meaning again.
Johann is reading this. She taps her husband on the back lightly, making him pay attention to you. Johann hesitates.
You speak with such fervor, but how can I trust you? Judging by your actions, it's difficult to tell how much you care about Carmine Heights' interests. Although if our views on the future of Maelstrom match... Okay. I analyzed the telemetry that Russo sent. Maelstrom is a tool, and this tool must be wielded, not be the subject of experimentation like Henrietta wanted. Don't get me wrong, I'm fond of fundamental science, but if you're given a hammer, you knock the nail in rather than study what the hammer is made of. The time for study will come, but now we have a lot of problems to solve. Maybe the Maelstrom could be made to work with the isosuits.
He is lost in thought again. Olivia peeks from behind Johann's shoulder.
All I heard is just a lot of problems. And that's it exactly. If the Maelstrom is a tool, let's use it to solve problems. We need water, we need proper weather. We have to solve the problem of infertility inside the dome. You keep talking about technology so insistently, as if it were the only thing that matters.
The Blue's face lights up.
Actually, yes.
He looks at... Johann is reading. She taps her husband. Johann is reading the servo shell rip. She taps her husband on the back lightly.
Not now.
Hugging her shoulders, Karma Ishtwani paces nervously around the camp. Karma nods proudly as you approach.
Be aware that I'm monitoring your actions. Carmine Heights is sending people to Concord to keep an eye on you. That was my initiative.
king's blood.
A roughly nailed together wooden stage hangs over the yelling and shifting crowd of fops. A makeshift guillotine with an enormous blade standing on top of it. Standing on the scaffold, Victoria points her finger at you, and the crowd quiets down gradually. One by one, the fops turn to look at you.
You caused enough damage to us, Knight. I can give an order and all my people will rush to tear you into pieces. But I'm thinking now, maybe you could render me a service. Consider it. You have a couple of minutes before you die.
The Queen dangles her legs from the scaffold's edge and swings them nonchalantly. Victoria looks at the guillotine.
This is as obvious as it is right, Knight. You will carry me to the Maelstrom.
The young woman claps her hands.
Great. Trump, elephant.
She says to a nearby fop wearing a gas mask with a long dangling trunk.
The time of the final speech has come. Hey, all of you, listen to your queen's address.
Legrand steps back from the edge of the scaffold and adjusts her crown. She throws her head back and stares at the guillotine blade frozen against the sky. She looks over the crowd of fops, standing straighter.
My beloved subjects, when we started our great expedition following the leaving Maelstrom, I used to ask myself, how did it all begin? Not the expedition, but the events before it. How did we all happen to come together? Several sleepless nights, and some candy floss gave me the answer. We are together because each of us always had a penchant for power, and had the innate feeling of where to find it.
She approaches the edge of the stage again, hovering above her army.
A crowd is power, and therefore the crowd we form is growing bigger each day. Knives and guns are power, and therefore we have loads of them. Maelstrom is power, and therefore we followed it, found it, and it won't escape us ever again.
Accompanied by the fops' excited yells, Victoria points her finger at the maelstrom spinning above the ruined remnants of Concord.
Power is the answer to any question, the solution to any problem. If you dwell on a scrap of land on the west, you will only need power to take over the entire dome. If you have strange dreams of a past, you can come, Knight,
she says softly, settling on the apparatus' wooden bedding.
When it is over, carry me to the Maelstrom.
Metal rings hold her arms tightly. Raising her head for the last time, Victoria cries, addressing the crowd.
My beloved subjects, today I will go to the Maelstrom to bring its power to you.
The sharp guillotine blade drops with a whistle and a clang. Victoria's chopped-off head bounces right into your hands. The crowd of fops behind you bursts out with exultation.
Ha-ah!
Don't touch the corpse. That's Queen's property.
Sneaker! You're sneaking! Sneaker!
Concord Station's bus stop is shady and silent. Now this place looks completely unrecognizable. The floor is covered with small concrete crumbs, and green moss islands break through the cracks in the tiles, dampening the sound of your steps. The metal doors leading to the station suddenly begin to tremble, slowly shifting to the sides. Primitive automation and reliable light sensors still work despite all the cataclysms. Several people appear in the doorway. They have no insignia and uniforms, but they do not look like bandits. They must be from Picnic. One of them throws up his hand in response. "We've been waiting for you, employee. The station is a dangerous place, and we figured you could use some support. Picnic owes you a lot. We want to repay the debt." The stranger twitches the bolt of the machine gun. "I haven't doubted it for a second. We've been scouting this place a little. There are a bunch of afflicted ahead, but don't worry, we'll cover you."
Not now.
Not now.
You're surrounded.
Covered our places with their scent.
There's outsider radiation. Someone passed through here, scattering their light around.
Ah!
There's outsider radiation everywhere. Someone passed through here, scattering their light around.
Ah! I'm gonna bathe.
Oh! Now it's my turn.
There is outsider radiation everywhere. Someone passed through here.
I am the law.
They punched me harder in boot camp.
There are traces and fractals. Someone from the outside.
There's outsider radiation everywhere. Someone passed through here, scattering their light around.
Ah!
I'm gonna bathe in your blood.
Tactical formation.
There's outsider radiation everywhere. Someone passed through here, scattering their light around.
I'm gonna bathe in your blood.
Oh!
Someone from the outside did it. Some
Tactical
outside.
formation.
Start praying.
Ah! There is outsider radiation everywhere. Someone passed through here.
It'll be
Scattering
more
their light
effective
around.
from this angle. Don't you dare touch the dead.
What are you sneaking around here for? Are you trying to hide? I can see you, you know.
It's so close. Maelstrom.
Damn, this thing is beating like a giant heart.
The wind howls in the ruins of the hall. The floor here is still strewn with burnt flares and documents stuck to the tiles. Traces of a hasty, panicked evacuation. As soon as you enter the room, a panicked howl of the alarm is heard nearby. "Let's go inside!" A voice distorted by the interference of the intercom is heard from somewhere above. Several ropes hang through the holes in the ceiling. Two black shadows rapidly slide down them and soundlessly land on the floor. After them, clutching the rope with trembling hands, a girl in a silver jacket slides down. When she sees you, the girl throws up her hand. "Liao! Garrett! This is one of ours! Put your weapons down! Lower it, for God's sake, before you shoot someone!" She puts on an awkward smile. Sorry about this mishap. The new committee has tasked our department with providing combat support for your operation. I am Jana Besmer, the administrator. Besmer nods, but somewhat hesitantly and slightly fearful. Good. Liao, Garrett, get to it.
You are surrounded.
He's so strange.
Drop your weapon.
Don't even fear.
Cover me.
They punched me harder in the boot camp.
Ah!
Oh! Do you think you'd beat me?
An employee is down. Send backup.
You are surrounded.
Violator.
Start the attack. Violator. Start the attack. Violator. Start the attack. Violator. Start the attack.
They punched me harder in the boot camp.
Sorcerers.
Drop your weapon!
A heavy blow rings out behind your back, followed by rumbling, metallic grinding, and the roar of an engine. You turn to see a phalanx truck racing down the corridor, littered with stones and concrete debris. The car stops. An energetic little man with an angry, sunburned face jumps out. "Move out, folks! Look alive! Go! Go!" He slams his hand on the cab, and several fighters hop out. On their commander's orders, they anchor their grappling hooks on the remains of a glass bridge and climb to the second floor. He stops a few steps away and crosses his arms. "Don't flatter yourself. We're not here for you. We just came to keep an eye on the situation."
We should be wary of these sorcerers.
Someone from the outside did it. Some outsider.
It's so close. Maelstrom.
Damn, this thing is beating like a giant heart.
Ow! I am the law.
Violator! Stop the attack.
Tactical formation. Someone from the outside did it. Some outsider.
Structural damage located.
Ow! Covered places with their scent.
These sorcerers smell like Maelstrom.
Structural damage located. Violator.
The holographic training simulation is still running. Pink silhouettes are walking their patrol, weapons ready. Looking over the terminal's half-shattered display, you realize the situation has become much more dire. The active program reports that the holograms are equipped to fire energy pulses, and their hits can be quite painful. After some time, you notice a group of temple novitiates. Like you, they're studying the hologram from a safe distance. They haven't spotted you yet. One of the clerics, presumably the leader, smiles placidly. Employee, we are here to observe. As you know, any interaction with Maelstrom can spiral out of control in an instant. The churchman glances back at his companions, then turns to you again. Surely your silence means yes. We will support you in battle, employee.
Security now, you goddamn ninja.
Don't let them get away.
Now I'll show him. You punch like a robo kid.
gonna bathe in your blood.
Oh.
Gonna be more effective from this angle.
I'll definitely get promoted when this is over.
Structural damage located.
Oh.
Structural damage located.
Distract them.
Violator. Stop the attack. Violator. Stop.
Oh.
Distract them.
Violator. Stop
Why the
attack.
hell did I join Cronus?
Even know who I am?
Well, here goes nothing.
I'll definitely get promoted when this is over.
Hey, come on. Stop it.
Do you even know who you're messing with? This is an official misconduct.
There is outsider radiation.
You kidding or what?
On your way through the broken decontamination chamber, you hear a hollow booming and clatter, like someone climbing through a ventilation duct. Pausing to listen, you hear a barely audible voice, slowly coming towards you. Eventually, it will all come down to ethics, Myrtle. Zemeckis will use Maelstrom for his own benefit, as will Nakamura and the Reisners. In this scenario, someone will be left out in the cold. It's important that that someone is the bad guys, the first voice remarks softly but confidently. Shifting the rusted shutters slightly apart, you look through the gap. The ecozone looks deserted and even more overgrown. A mossy Mobios with dimly glowing eyes slowly wanders among the scattered boulders and broken equipment. Looking closely, you notice something else. Over on the right, a huge ventilation duct has fallen through the ceiling. Voices are coming from within. A small light flickers inside the duct, probably the beam of a flashlight. The conversation grows louder. The debaters are approaching. Do you realize how much you shifted the emphasis? It doesn't matter who will, as you like to say, be out in the cold. God! The fact that someone ends up a loser makes the emulator project a total failure. Completely different forces need to work together, only to result in one winner in the end. The second voice, clearly female, heatedly objects. 3 people appear from the duct, wearing protective suits of unusual design. You can tell they're a Carmine Heights creation, not least because of the huge insignias on the armor's chest plates. Hey, employee! We've come to your aid. One of the strangers waves to you. Yes, a curious specimen indeed. Toxic glands, durable steel coating, exceeds the average weight by 14.6%, says one of the engineers, who until now had been silent. The woman, standing next to him, sighs and pats him on the shoulder. You'll have time to study it after the fight, Klaus. I'll even help you disassemble it. Let's go. Drawing their guns, all three approach, ready to follow your orders.
I'm warning you. I know Kung Fu.
I want none of that.
Aim for the head, the brain.
It's my turn.
I'm warning you. I know Kung Fu.
Maelstrom is getting nearer. The increasing vibration and tense crackling of your Kairos Geiger counter attest to it. A strange rattling sounds from the restroom. The noise gradually increases in volume until it explodes into a cacophony of breaking porcelain and gushing water. Almost simultaneously, fountains of sewage erupt above the toilet stalls. This disaster is followed by a discordant cry of victory. A powerful kick throws the toilet door open, and 3 fops come out of the stall. You're hiding in the ruins of visitor registration. The fops run to and fro across the...
This thing is beating like a giant heart.
The crackling of your Kairos suddenly breaks through Maelstrom's howling. Pulsating purple waves ripple and flex in the glowing air as if boiling about the invisible border. You throw your head back to see Maelstrom lazily swirling directly above you, but an unknown anomaly is blocking your way. It's almost imperceptible, but probably extremely dangerous. You throw a bolt at the anomaly. It hops about in the air for a few seconds as if bouncing on an invisible trampoline, and then flattens as if crushed by a multi-ton press, and finally snaps in half. Green rays flicker across the surface of the anomaly, outlining its spheroidal shape. Data scrolls up on your scanner display. You circle around the anomaly. It's an irregularly shaped bubble around a dense, swirling void. The anomaly covers an area of about 30 square meters, and most of the landing capsule falls within its perimeter. That will be a problem. This is the same capsule you were going to use to get to Maelstrom. At the very last moment, Crump shoves you back with his shoulder.
Wait. Don't go there, boss. My gut tells me this whole idea is crap.
The anomaly suddenly seems to stretch towards you, as if sensing your presence. And you're not the only one witnessing this.
Here's what I'll say. When they locked me up last time, I thought I'd start reading all kinds of books while I had the time, to familiarize myself with the sciences, get me?
The Bruiser stares silently at the anomaly for a while.
I got hold of this one journal that said there were anomalies that act like predatory plants. Sometimes they need to catch some living being, and when they do, poof, they shut down right away. And I think this crap is just like that.
walk decisively into the tensely vibrating bubble and feel the space around you fill with deafening silence. Your ears pop. From your peripheral vision, you notice a rapidly approaching shadow. Crump storms into the anomaly, grabs you, and with a powerful kick, launches both of you out of the quivering bubble of distorted space. The orange examines you for a moment, then rewards you with a powerful slap on the cheek.
You really are an idiot.
The anomaly surrounding the landing pad begins to change. The vibration around its perimeter grows more rapid and chaotic, as if engulfed by a transparent flame. A moment later, it disappears with a soft poof. The way is clear. The bruiser gives you a sullen look, then strikes the ground with his huge fist, enraged.
I'm still angry about your shenanigans. It's cool you're not worried about this stuff, but it looks to me like you're on an important mission.
Fox growls in your face, shaking with impotent rage. Looks like she was worried about you.
Return safely.
Fox grunts softly from beneath her mask. You look back at the ruins of the landing pad once more. A purple glow seems to have frozen in the air. Somewhere high above your head, the transport capsule's cables vibrate like giant guitar strings. Maelstrom is already near. All that remains is to take the last step. The Maelstrom, now weak and shrunk, is slowly spinning amidst the thick fog. It is restrained by the emulator's core broadcasting via the Maelstrom beacons, though still very dangerous. You touch it with your fingers for a split second, and a flow of information overwhelms you at once, stunning you for a few moments. Listening carefully, you hear the familiar sound ingrained in your memory. Soft, rhythmic beats, like heartbeats. You've already heard them while contacting the Maelstrom through the emulator, but they're much weaker and softer now. The surface of the Maelstrom unfolds slowly and as if reluctantly in rhythm with the beats. Your mind opens toward the white nothingness as if hanging in midair. And something living inside the Maelstrom, invisible but perceptible, freezes in front of you, awaiting your command. From all available options, you choose this one. After all, who, if not the people of Carmine Heights, deserve to be the first leaving the dome that within a few years became a prison to humanity? You give the Maelstrom an order, and it obeys without a grumble. The spinning vortex widens and shoots up to the skies. A real storm rises around you within moments. It pulls in streams of whitish mist floating over the ground. You end up in an endless whiteness, in a dead, silent nothingness. Hanging her head, Fox is listening to her own feelings. The woman looks up at you in a completely non-aggressive, almost pleading manner.
The maelstrom sounds different when it's inside your head. A lot different.
She shrugs.
Same as always.
Fox snorts.
Let's go. I'll cover.
Karma is both excited to see you and surprised.
I was wrong. And it's my duty as a member of this society to admit it.
She has great difficulty saying this. Gathering her strength, she stretches her lips in the world's most awkward smile.
Excuse me. Thanks.
Johan and Olivia are already waiting for you. They're watching the maelstrom, standing by their tent. It seems almost motionless from here. Huge, slow, resembling a gray pipe stretching toward the ruins of the spire.
You turned it into a tunnel.
Johan half asks, half claims, staring into the sky.
Oh, well, one can forget about the calm, normal life. Of course, there's no problem more urgent than to get out of the dome. But maybe you've forgotten we have a home? We have Carmine Heights.
Johan and Olivia. Yellow dust is still hovering in the warm air, not yet settled down completely. Russo is standing near her tent, looking both peaceful and lost.
I feel as if they'd taken my favorite toy from me. I'm kidding. I'm glad you succeeded.
Henrietta shakes her sleeve of the desert dust, laughing.
Oh, I don't know. Buy another dozen pairs of colored socks? Learn how to play pool. Maybe start drinking out of sheer boredom. But seriously, we're under the dome. A scientist can always find something to do in such a place.
Katarzyna notices you from afar and waves her hand. Dressed in a white lab coat, she looks utterly out of place and lost in the desert.
You did it, right? I never doubted it for a sec. Well, that is, I doubted it, of course, but I knew you had a chance. I was waiting for your return.
The question clearly baffles Katarzyna.
Next?
There is confusion in her voice.
I really have nowhere to go, but I'll think of something. Maybe I'll get hired as a housekeeper, or get a job in some cafe in the neutral zone. They say they sometimes give out housing. Won't you even give me a hug?
Katya watches you in disappointment as you walk away. She looks down.
I just wanted to say, if you need anything, look for me at Magellan. I'll be glad to see you and, all that.
After hugging you goodbye, Katarzyna leaves. Nakamura is pacing back and forth in her tent, but stops anxiously when you come in.
Did you bring the helmet?
Crump looks back at the ruins of Concord, then the bruiser crunches his fists imperturbably.
People are still assholes. Few of them are asking for some enlightenment. That's what I'll do.
The orange grins.
Let's roll. Nice mask.
The abbot towers over you threateningly.
I was wrong about you. You want this new Middle Ages to continue. You had the opportunity to help everyone locked inside the dome. However, you wasted it. Enjoy your life in the damned world you have created yourself.
The Reverend gives you a long, gloomy look. He's not smiling anymore. Then, for the first time since you've met him, he takes off his glasses. Disappointment, sadness, and fatigue are apparent in his bulging red eyes.
We met you with an open heart and introduced you to our temple. Until the very last minute, I was hoping you would choose us. But you didn't appreciate any of it. You don't understand anything.
He puts his glasses on again and shuffles away. Zemeckis is sitting in the same place, but there's no teacup in front of him. There's a bottle of some alcohol, a carafe of water, and 2 shot glasses instead. Hieronymus raises his glass slightly above the table.
So, how are you doing? Feeling like a winner? Sit down. Let's drink to your success.
Zemeckis pushes the bottle toward you, allowing you to have a better look at it.
Ouzo, a Greek national drink. In fact, It's hooch with anise, fennel, and cloves. It's very strong, so I'll reduce it for you. You can try it straight later, if you wish. I like it straight. Though, I'll repeat myself. It's a personal preference.
He half fills your shot glass with ouzo, then adds water from the carafe. The liquid turns rather turbid. Zemeckis watches your sour face and laughs.
Oh dear, come on! You're thinking now he's gonna poison me with that hooch. Nope.
Zemeckis downs his glass and squeezes his eyes shut. The drink smells pleasantly of fennel and has a slight warming effect, though it leaves a hint of metallic aftertaste, and your lips and tongue turn slightly numb. Zemeckis is attentively watching you drink.
Do you recall our old conversation about tricks? About the assistant drawing everyone's attention? He shows you the tools used for the trick, as if they were important. Though actually, they are just junk. The only purpose of those tools is to be demonstrated, while the magic is happening just next door.
He looks down at the empty shot glass in your hand.
Think about it. Drinking with a man who you've so completely let down. Once again, you've surprised me, employee. Perhaps now is the time to say goodbye. I have things to do. I must mitigate the damage you've done to my organization. Thanks for the company. Farewell.
Hieronymus winks at you. Zemeckis watches your sour face and laughs.
Oh dear, come on! You're thinking now he's gonna poison me with that hooch. Nope.
Zemeckis downs his glass and squeezes his eyes shut.
To hell with you. Do as you wish.
He suddenly loses interest in you and lounges sleepily in his chair.
You scum.
You wanna play, birdie? In your blood.
Oh.
I'll smack you.
Just a scratch.
Oh. Oh.
Clip's empty. Reloading. You scum.
I'm gonna bathe in your blood.
Ah! You scum.
Another milestone in the history of mankind has come to an end. Maelstrom, that you have awakened in the excavation zone at C-12 Nashville facility, has remained completely unexplored, much like the civilization of the forefathers that created it. Of course, Maelstrom was neither good nor evil. It probably turned out to be just a tool that humanity simply was not mature enough to wield. Perhaps it was a communication interface that tried to unite the minds of all the people under the dome. Or a security system that warned us against getting into contact with something unknown and dangerous. Or a creative force that transforms the world and awakens supernatural powers in some individuals. One thing is indisputable. Maelstrom, lost in its own creation, gave rise to your incredible mind, and once in your hands, it gave you the opportunity to change the fate of the world completely. Few receive such a chance, and naturally, you took it and made your choice. After hearing Johann's ideas, you turned Maelstrom into a kind of giant tunnel, or rather an elevator, leading to the aperture at the top of the dome. Now, any living creature can exit the dome without hindrance. After several years in forced isolation, this possibility gave humanity much-needed hope. Your decision did nothing to diminish the controversy among the exhausted Baron's dwellers, but it did distract everyone from their unresolved problems, forcing them to believe in an early successful outcome. Thanks to your help, the new committee's power grew manyfold. The former Cronus became a totalitarian, bureaucratic empire. After defeating the Maelstrom and wandering around the desert to your heart's content, you returned to Junktown and took the mayor's chair. Upon improving your relationship with Bethany, you took on a course to build a thriving capitalist community. Since Spengler, who lost his position as sheriff, left the settlement, you also had to take on the fight against crime. But you did not achieve much success. Junktown remained to be a rather dangerous place. The many-fold increase in controlling policies made life in the new committee almost insufferable. Magellan people raised a revolt, which was put down with a heavy hand. Zemeckis was indeed the heart of the Phalanx. His death initiated the slow but inevitable decline of the organization. The Phalanx was no longer a significant political force, and its power and influence would only decrease with the passage of time. Your help and support to the church resulted in it spreading all over the dome in just a few years. Its branches opened even in the farmost places. No qualitative leap in the virtual world technology occurred, and both the church and its faith became something quite mundane after a while. As the new committee grew stronger, the church's position worsened. Its adepts started being harassed. The church was eventually eliminated by Kimiko Nakamura's decree. As for the picnic neutral zone, it degraded slowly for many years. Your help proved to be not enough to provide its autonomy. You had taken Victoria's head, but broke your promise. When the Fops realized you'd fooled them, they were furious. For a long time, their army, led by ire and sorrow, roamed about the desert, tearing apart unfortunate travelers. The gang's life ended some 30 years later at the Phalanx Fortress, when the last surviving Fops clashed with the elderly Phalanx men. The fight was desperate, and there were no survivors. With Maelstrom transformed into a gate to the outside world, Carmine Heights' position has only strengthened. With the developments in the ISO-suit program and a powerful scientific and industrial base, the Republic soon became the unofficial center of civilization under the Dome. A place where finances, power, and technological progress were concentrated. You performed a great service for the engineers working on the isosuit project. Thanks to your efforts, a working prototype of the device was ready in a few short years. After rigorous testing to confirm the reliability and safety of isosuits, the first expedition was sent to the surface of the Dome. What they discovered was incomprehensible and alarming. After descending the outside of the Dome, the researchers headed for Crystal Sands. They reported the settlement had been destroyed and abandoned. There were no further communications. A haunting silence echoed throughout the Dome. Humanity now knew that escaping the Dome was not the end of their trials, but merely the beginning. Yesterday's comforting image of a bright, stable future had turned unsettling, even frightening. Though it became obvious much later, after many years, by that time, the desert had covered your traces. Though the tale of what you'd done is still alive, and will stay like that till the end of time.